everyone, Mr. E here with another SolidWorks tutorial video for students and beginners. And in this one, we're talking about simulations, which is where you can apply different stress or drop tests or forces upon your designs to see how they might deform under load. And we're going to look at a couple different scenarios here. The first is going to be a pretty simple static load, as I'm going to see if this little bridge model I made can handle any type of forces. So I've made my 3D part, and I'm going to head over to simulation. Every simulation you do is going to be called a study. So let's click new study, and then you want to choose the type of study you're going to do. So for example, static, frequency, if you're going to do any type of buckling, fatigue, nonlinear, drop test, pressure vessel, etc. Right? So I'm going to click static for this one, but I'll show you a couple other scenarios in this tutorial as well with some different parts. So I hit the checkbox. Now, the first thing you have to do is kind of define the rules for your simulation so an accurate result can be found. One of the first things you should do is apply your material, right? So what is your part being made out of? And if you have multiple parts, you can click on multiple bodies and apply different materials. So let's just pretend like this is a, I don't know, let's pretend like this is an alloy steel bridge for the sake of time, but you'll see that you can choose from a lot of different materials and even add additional material profiles here for what you want to work with. So let's just say this is alloy steel. All right, I'm going to close that. And you'll notice I have this nice little checkbox next to my starter bridge model because I've applied the material. Now, the next thing you might have to do is determine how things interact or what can move and can't move. So that's typically done through fixtures with a static load. So let's talk about what fixed geometry you have. And I should point out, if you're not really sure the direction you should go, open up the advisor, because the advisor kind of walks you through step by step about what you should do. So it says like add fixture, create interactions, blah, blah, blah. So you can also come through the simulation advisor, which would sort of guide you through each step of choosing your material, choosing your interactions, meshing it, etc. Right? So that can be very handy as you're getting started. But nonetheless, I know I need to create some fixed geometry. So in this case, what doesn't move? Well, it's going to be these pylons or this bottom support of my bridge. So I'm going to say, all right, these are my fixed pieces that should not move on my simulation. So let's hit our checkbox there. So we have some fixtures, we have our materials, things like that. Then we can go ahead and determine what type of loads we're going to apply. So external loads, and you know what, I don't actually need the advisor. Let's just go ahead and determine, are we doing force, pressure, gravity, bearing, etc. Right? So let's just say we're doing some typical force loads here, okay? So what face am I applying the loads? Well, it's going to be this face. And you'll see, we can see the arrow and the orientation of the loads being applied. You can choose, how much force you're applying and whether it's total force or per item as you go. If it's not uniform, right, if you want to apply a different arrangement, you can do that as well. But you'll see that we just want to apply some forces to this face as we come through here, just like so. Let's hit the check. All right, so I have my fixed profiles, I have my force loads. I think we should be able to run this study. So let's click run this study. That might take a little bit to solve and calculate depending on how much computing power you have. And there we go. We can see my deformity here of how much my bridge, in this case scenario, were to fail, right? So that's not very good. So we have our different deformation scales, our stress numbers, our strain here as we're looking at our deform results. The other cool thing is that you can continue to adjust this. So let's say I want to come back over to my modeling, my part over here. So if I actually want to, let's say, come back over to my starter bridge, notice down here I have my studies. So I'm in static study, motion study, and then I can also come over here and go back to the model. Down here in this tab. So if I wanted to, let's say, make this bridge stronger, I could do so. Okay, so I've redesigned my bridge to maybe look a little bit stronger here. So let's do a new study on this bridge, right? So we'll keep it as a static study as we did before. I'll apply a material, and this time maybe I'll choose a slightly more common steel, 1020, right? Which will be nice. All right, there we go. Let's add our fixed geometry, just like we did before. Okay. And then let's add our load. So I'm going to apply my force to this face, but you know what? Let me increase it quite a bit. Let's do 10,000 newtons, which should be about the force of maybe, I don't know, 10 to 5 cars, depending on how large the cars are driving on my little bridge, right? So there we go. There's my force. And let's go ahead and run this study. So it's going to generate our mesh and then run the study. And now you might be immediately surprised to see, wait a minute, this super strong bridge is still caving in. Yes, we did 10,000 newtons, but this is a pretty solid steel structure. What's going on here? Well, let's analyze this slightly. First off, you have a couple different results that we saw earlier, but just to clarify, you have stress, you have displacement, you have strain, right? So you have these different results, so you can toggle between those to see them. You can also animate any of these. So I can right click and then click animate to see this animated result here as we're looking at this in particular, this deformation scale that we're looking at, right? But here's what's actually going on. If we look at this part, notice the deformation scale. SolidWorks continued to push and push and push and push my model until it failed. And it did that at 274 times the amount of force I initially applied. So if we want to actually get more of an accurate perspective of what this part would look like under the load we applied, we want to change the scale here. So I'm going to right click on this result, this stress result, and then edit my definition. And instead of doing an automatic scale, which again found essentially the maximum, I'm going to go to user define and just say a scale factor of 1. Hit the checkbox, and you know what? Now you can see your stresses, but this doesn't appear to be deforming. And if you look at this actual chart here, we can see, all right, we're getting a little bit in the light greenish, the bluish green. So maybe that's 5.8 to the 7th here in terms of my strength that's actually being deformed, right? So you can actually change your deformation scale or your stress scale or whatever it is to get a more accurate result of what your part would look like in the real world. Let's say I want to do this times 10. There we go. And now you can see I actually do have a little bit of deformation there. Let's go ahead and animate that. And you'll see we do have just a small amount of flex in my superstructure. And you can see those flex points, right, with this much stronger bridge. You can also calculate your factor of safety, which is a really important thing to do in your simulation. So let's right click our results. Let's go to actually define factor of safety plot. You can choose if you have multiple bodies or if you want to do all your bodies, you can choose which one you're trying to calculate here and then hit the checkbox. And you'll see that I have a factor of safety distribution, a minimum of 2.4 with the intended criteria that I've entered for my report. So that essentially means that 2 times or 2.4 times the amount of force coming at play with my plot would be needed in order for it to start to deviate. So it can handle twice as much force as what I said it would do, essentially, as we look at our factor of safety. The other thing you can do is with your chart options, if you'd like to actually define your minimum and your maximum annotations for any of these reports, it'll show you where the minimum strain and the maximum strain is for the loads applied, which is another handy way to actually figure out and plot your simulations. But this was just one type of simulation study. As you saw, there were a bunch of other ones between statics and deformation and drop tests and whatever. So let's look at a different model to see what that would look like in a similar environment to test something else. And you can even run a drop test. So I have a phone case model here, and I'm going to do a new study for this, and this time create a drop test study, right, by selecting drop test and then hitting the checkbox. And for the drop test, you have to do a couple different types of connections. So first off, how are the components interacting? I like to do global interaction, so just everything can kind of interact with everything else, right? There, if you have anything in your model that you want to collide, right? So that's pretty cool. And you have to do your drop test setup. So I'm going to double click on the setup here. Do you want to drop from a specific height? Do you want to drop at a velocity at impact? So for example, let's say we're going to drop from a height of 5 feet. Cool. And then it needs to know which direction gravity is. So you can click on any line and you'll see that you get a little gravity arrow. So that's, for example, that this is going to fall straight down like this. If I were to click on a different line, you'll see that, okay, it's going to fall like that, right? So you can choose a line or a plane to give your gravity the correct orientation. You could also change the amount of force if you want to pretend like you were dropping your phone case on the moon or something like that instead, right? And of course, don't forget to set your material of your phone case. So my phone case is definitely not steel. I think it's probably more likely that it is a silicone instead, or you could choose a plastic or a rubber or something like that. You'll see that now we have our little check here, so that material's been set and we can run our study. And then it's going to take a very long time to solve, depending on how much computing power you have available. But once it's all said and done, you can go ahead and show your result and change the level of deformity like this to see your drop test simulation. So simulations can be really cool to test out your different models in SolidWorks. And of course, if you want to learn how to make these models, check out my other tutorials and guides. Thanks so much for watching.